How's your week been, buddy?
It's been going, ever since Monday. I've had a couple rough days to kind of get settled in here with everything going on, but overall I'm doing okay.
Doing just okay. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, my friend, one being everything's good, 10 being witness protection, where have you landed this week with everything going on?
Is this before mommy or after mommy?
This is after she shows up, like she shows up on Monday Night Raw, and we're going into
I
Monday Night Raw at the Nutter Center in Dayton.
so prior to mommy, once I had finally beaten that deadbeat, I was about a 10. I was about at a solid 9.5, 10.
Yeah.
Not even taking live into consideration just the fact that I had beaten that deadbeat. Um, but but once mommy's music hit and everything happened afterwards, I feel like I'm at about a 2, maybe a 1.
Two
Pretty
or a
close
one?
to witness protection.
All right. Pretty close to witness protection. That's encouraging to hear. What do you think is going to happen on Monday? I mean, have you talked to her on the phone at all? Have you seen her? Or
I've
you think,
I've tried my best to communicate with her. She's kind of avoided me as of now, but she kind of has no choice but to see me on Mondays.
yeah,
So I'm gonna fix things. I'm gonna do my best to fix things on Monday.
coming together. We all love to hear that. We love you guys as a couple. So
Thanks.
I'm glad to, I mean, I'm glad to hear that you're have a plan to evolve and heal the situation. So and I mean, I'm excited. I'm gonna tune in Monday night. Make sure I keep up to it. Did you happen to catch that clip of Liv Morgan watching your confrontation through the curtain? Did you catch that?
No, I did not. I
Oh
I
man.
steer away from all things Liv Morgan when it comes to certain situations, but
Well,
I
go
is it
ahead.
something I need to watch?
Um, it might tip her hand a little bit towards her intentions towards you and her. I definitely worth a Google.
Interesting. Alrighty, I might have to give it a
Pro tip.
gander.
Just a pro tip. So now that we kind of got business out of the way, I want to. I'm super excited to talk to you because your dad, the deadbeat, in my opinion, was one of the greatest luchador. If he is the greatest luchador of all time, if you're picking a Mount Rushmore of baby faces, your dad is on it. And you tagged with your dad for a really long time, and then you went out on your own. And in my opinion, is as a protagonist, you are that much better as the antagonist, and you're cutting your own path. How does it feel to be your own man, to get out from underneath that shadow?
Oh man, I first of all, I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's no problem.
Um, but I think what really helped me here, and this might sound weird, but I never really looked at it as like being in his shadow. It was almost just like I knew what had to be done
Mm-hmm.
and the path straight ahead, and I just kind of kept my head down and kept working. I didn't really focus about filling in his shoes or worrying about being, under a shadow or whatever. It was just more of I just needed to be good. Um, I needed to do something, and I feel like I never really focused too much on you know him being kind of like my ball and chain, kind of holding me
Yeah,
down a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think it all worked out, for the better.
brother, it definitely worked out. You're not just a star, you're a superstar, and you're the pillar, and in my opinion, one of the pillars of Monday Night Raw. What kind of pressure does that come with? I mean, I know you probably see yourself that way too. Does it come with pressure? You're such a young guy. I've been a wrestler for 25 years. You are much younger than me. The pressure of being the main event guy, one of the pillars of the greatest wrestling broadcast in history, that's got to come with a lot of pressure, man, right?
I mean, it does and it doesn't because at the same time, I don't this might I hopefully I don't get in trouble for any of this, but
Oh,
I don't think about the pressure as far as like
yeah.
what I have to do or like this is crucial. This is I have to execute this, hitting this, right? Like I don't really think about things like that. And even like you said, like being a big part of, Monday Night Raw main eventing, and not just last night, but multiple times, the company having the trust in me to main event. I was the first person to main event SmackDown, NXT, and Raw all in the same week,
Woo.
so like things like that, I don't really like think about it because life is just moving so fast. Until like, I do sit down interviews like this and you like remind me of things that are very important. Like it's huge, and not to think about it too much, and I try to just live in the moment and enjoy, man, because that's all I can really do.
And I think you're spot on about that. Once you're on the road and traveling, it's like, okay, it's just the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. When you stop and reflect and look back on everything you've accomplished in such a short period of time, what kind of emotion does that bring up in you? Is it pride? Is it like, hey, that's a great start, but I'm going to the moon? What kind of sentiment or feeling does that dredge up in you?
It just it it lights a fire under me, and also like it just puts everything in perspective for me, because I don't take away the fact that I realize that I'm very blessed and very fortunate to be in the position that I'm in, and the opportunities, of course. And I'm very thankful for them. But at the end of the day, I feel like, there's been a lot of guys do a lot of different things, but no one's done it like I have. No one's
Got it.
started on the main roster. No
Mhm.
one's continued to do it. Everyone starts, NXT, trying to work their way up. I
Mhm.
started in the main roster. I went down and took over NXT. I put NXT on my back, came back into the main roster. So like everything has just been, kind of just opposite and different for me. And this August, I'm going into my fourth year. I've only been wrestling professionally for 4 years.
It's incredible.
Um,
It's incredible.
so for me, I try to take that with a grain of salt because I've been around so many legends, so many people. I've been helped by some of the best. So at this point, I'm still just a student of the game. I'm 4 years in. I have so much to learn still, and I take it as that, as a love and respect for this game. I want to do the best possible for it.
You're well on your way, my friend. Well on your way. So, taking your dad out of the picture for a second, who would you say that your influences are? I know you kind of at this point, like you said, the deadbeat. You want him out of the picture. Who is your influence, maybe on the main roster now that you're working with, or years past?
I I'm a big fan of the old cruiserweight WCW days. I was a big Eddie Guerrero guy, Jushin Thunder Liger, Dean Malenko, obviously Juventud Guerrera, like all those guys. But you also like I grew up watching, Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Ric Flair, Randy Orton. So like those guys for me is I try to do my best to formulate the like those two styles where it's like you have the exciting lucha libre cruiserweight style, which I'm not really a cruiserweight. I'm 6'1", two
No,
hundred pounds, so
you're a big dude.
I'm
You're a
not really
big
a
dude.
cruiserweight. But then also like you try and see these styles like Randy Orton, who's been around for, you know, 20 plus years now. Guys like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, the work style that they have, John Cena, Roman Reigns, like the style that these guys work. And it's just trying to adapt myself and to give it the best of every world. So I think it's just a matter of still being able to learn and pick up these different styles and still be a student of this game.
Well, that's a great answer. Those are fantastic people to learn from. When you think of yourself, I think you're on the trajectory to win the big belts. If you had your target set on one of the two right now, which one would it be? Which one do you think you're closer to? Obviously, with Raw and SmackDown being different brands, it would be the Raw belt. But is there an appeal over there with on SmackDown? Is there?
I mean, there's definitely an appeal. I think there's rich history between both of those titles, especially now with the the legacy that Cody's building on SmackDown for the undisputed title, and the legacy that's being built currently for, the World Heavyweight Championship, which Seth started, and then now Damien is carrying it.
Mhm.
So I don't know, man. I think it's pretty special because my deadbeat ended up holding the world title one time.
Yeah.
Or yeah, no, actually two times. And then he ended up winning the WWE title just
Mhm.
once for I believe it was maybe 30 minutes, and then Cena came back and took it. So I would definitely, I think right now, I would love to beat his 30-minute record of WWE champion. So I think the WWE Undisputed title that Cody currently
Yeah.
has Mysterio history written all over it.
You're not wrong. Is that more, are you leaning more in that direction, or does that interest you more because Damien has the Raw belt? Or is that something, I don't want to say it's a point of jealousy because Judgment Day works really well together, but being part of a group, especially a group with where I'm just going to say it, and because you had Adam Copeland as the original leader of that group. He's out of the picture now. And a lot of people I think thought, well, Judgment Day is going to be whatever. You guys have just taken over Monday Night Raw as far as like the airtime, the matches, the quality of matches. People love you guys or they love to hate you guys. Do you feel like you being, in my opinion, one of the de facto leaders, if not the de facto leader of that group, makes their animosity going for that belt, or do you really support Damien as champion?
No, man, I support Damien 100%. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's my boy.
Yeah.
He's been with me from day one. As far as we've had our differences, you know, when he first tried to recruit me into the Judgment Day. But I think the bond that we've you know, really helped grow with me being in the Judgment Day, I want to see that dude flourish and break every record with that title. You know, I want him to do everything possible with that title. I want him to go around the world and back with it and show the people that, you know, he's still standing tall with the Judgment Day on his back. You know, like I think he can do it all. And he's got Gunther up at SummerSlam, and I think that's only going to solidify his mark in the history books even more, you know. So I don't think there's any jealousy or animosity there because, like you said, we're just a big happy family. You know, as long as one of us is winning, we're all winning.
I feel you on that one because a lot of, you look back at the history of groups, sometimes they're tight, eventually things kind of disintegrate. But, you have great factions throughout history. You got Four Horsemen, you got the NWO, you got Evolution, you've got groups like that people instantly recognize. Is your goal as a team to leapfrog them, to be recognized as one of the all-time great factions?
I mean, I think so if we haven't already, you know,
Yeah.
because how I don't know the time that all these, you know, factions got together, but I can guarantee you no one's lasted as long as we have. You know, no one's had the amount of titles that we've had where every single member is holding a championship title.
Mm-hmm.
Not only one, but on both sides on different brands. When Damien and Finn had the tag titles for both SmackDown and Raw, Rhea was the Raw Women's Champion. I was taking care of NXT with the North America. Like we were literally taking care of all three brands at the same
Yeah.
time. Like that'll never happen again,
Never.
you know? And as
Never.
much as I'm not taking away anything from the bloodline. They,
Mhm.
you know, they're up there with factions as well, but they stayed on SmackDown. We were running around everywhere, taking
Yeah.
over everything. So
That's a fantastic point. The wholesale domination of the entire WWE umbrella by you guys is nobody's ever done that before. You
yeah,
know, and that to me like puts you in that conversation. I think you guys can leapfrog them in my opinion. I know you're super busy, but I wanted one more question. You guys, your crew, you're tight. Can you take me and our listeners through a day in the life of the Judgment Day? Do you guys eat together, train together, things like that? Or do you guys kind of do your separate thing and come together at the show? What's that like?
nah, man, it's Judgment Day is a huge, big, happy family. So
Yeah.
usually we all kind of live in separate places as far as like in the US goes. So
Mm-hmm.
we have a Judgment Day group chat where we kind of all just stay in touch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow we fly out to Mexico. We
Mm-hmm.
already kind of have it all figured out. we land in Mexico, we're all jumping in one car. I think it's me, JD, Damien, and Finn. Um, Rhea's unfortunately, uh I think she's not like good to go yet as far as like when it comes to hanging out with me. So but anyways, we'll land, we'll get together. Depending on the mood of the fellas, we'll either go to the gym first or go eat. But usually if Finn's in the car, we usually go to the gym first and then we'll go eat after. We'll go eat, we'll come back to the hotel, we'll kind of hang out for a little bit, get ready, and then we'll all go to the arena together. Once we're all in the arena together, we kind of stay together too. We're hanging out, we'll go to catering. Once the show finishes, uh if we're in the States, we'll drive 2.5 hours, 3 hours to the next city. If not, I think we got a bus from Mexico City taking us to Monterey.
Nice.
So we'll probably be on the bus with just us guys, Judgment Day crew. And
Yeah.
dude, and if there's a bar open, we'll probably end up at a bar somewhere.
I remember those days. What's that car ride like for you guys? You guys talk wrestling, talk movies, talk comic books or sports,
Man,
or is it all wrestling all the time?
no, I think it kind of just depends. We have like a wrestling game that once it gets like really quiet, one of
Yeah,
us will usually it's either Damien or Rhea. They'll just start by saying wrestler's name with the letter A, then we'll just keep going with it. Yeah.
that's
But
pretty
usually
awesome.
Damien's a driver, uh Finn or Rio be shotgun, and then me and JD are kind of just like in the back.
In the back chilling. All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time today, man. I know you're super busy. Is last thing we'll bounce. What can we expect from you guys on Monday Night Raw at the Nutter Center in Dayton, Ohio this Monday night?
I'll tell you what, man, this Monday in Dayton is a Monday Night Raw you do not want to miss because of what had happened last week with Rhea and Liv. I'm
Hmm.
gonna fix it and I'm gonna put it all to an end. Mommy is gonna come back to the Judgment Day. There's gonna be no issues, and it's gonna be something you guys are not gonna want to miss.
You think Rhea's going to get her hands on Liv?
I think she's going to try her best because I mean, Liv was out there just doing some heinous things to me. So
Yes.
we'll see.
I mean, man, all I can say is good luck and God bless for you.
Thank you,
Hope you have
Justin.
a great,
Appreciate you, man.
hey, no problem. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll catch up with you soon.
Most definitely. Thank you. You guys have a good one.
Bye.